Well, we'll start out with a brief PowerPoint about 3X Systems, and we'll hop into the online demo. To give you a quick background about 3X, the company was founded back in 2006. The founder of the company was doing IT services and was frustrated with the current backup solutions that were out there. He invested a large amount of money into a backup product, found it very hard to use, very cost prohibitive, and didn't have the feature he wanted, and that was back in 2006. Here's the reviews and awards that we've received. If you'd like to go on the website, 3x.com, click the In the News section, and keep a list of them on that part of the site. Our customer logos, some of these are smaller companies, some are larger, wide range of industries, wide range of environments, but all very happy and satisfied with the 3X appliance. Here we like to talk about sort of the 4 categories of backup, and then we'll talk about how we can compare. So we start with the tape backup, and we usually don't spend a ton of time here because most of the people we work with are familiar with the tape and manual process, cleaning the tapes, rotating the tapes. If you ever need to restore a file back on tape, it's rather cumbersome, so I'll just kind of skip over this slide. Here we're talking software backup, and this is where you load software agents on a server, and it'll send data to either removable drives or in NAS. And the problem we see here is that it's really not a complete solution from an offsite standpoint. You've got to install the agents, maintaining, configuring, monitoring. Again, so really not complete. We talk about other appliances, and they typically work in one of 2 ways. The first way is you have to buy 2 appliances to do offsite backup. So you have one locally, you'll have one offsite, and sync between the 2. The second way is they have a local appliance, and then it'll send data off to a cloud-based service. And the typical problem we see here is you either have to buy 2 appliances to do offsite backup, or you have to subscribe to an offsite service. And if you do subscribe to the service, that can get really expensive really quickly. Other thing to consider with this is really can do laptops or remote offices. So similar to what 3X does, but not quite. And the final competitive online backup services, and these range anywhere from 50 cents a gig to several dollars a gig. The problem we see here is the total ownership over a 3 to 5 year period, 10-point fees. Also, anytime the data is in the cloud, there's could potential security and privacy concerns. And probably the most important question is how quickly can you restore the data? If the data is sitting in a cloud somewhere, how does that restore process work, and what does that look like? So those are sort of the 4 big competitors, but here's what 3X does. We deliver the same features of the online backup service, but we get rid of the online backup component. We sell this appliance that includes the hardware and all the software agents. Typically, you bring the appliance on site, you install it on the local network, you do the first backup over the LAN, then you do the appliance off-site, and that can be a data center, could be a road office, even work out of somebody's home. If you can't bring the appliance on-site, the initial backup can be done to a USB hard drive, and then you move the USB drive over, and it imports data down. Once we get the first backup done, we're only going to do the changes to the data or any new data. This is done with our block level delta generation. So very, very small deltas just to change segments of data backed up on the internet. We do not need a lot of bandwidth to get this done because it's so efficient. If you ever needed to restore any amount of data, the appliance can be taken from its offsite location, be brought back to the LAN, and that way you're quickly restoring at the LAN speeds. Demo today, you're going to see the benefits on the screen. The model is priced only by capacity, which scales from 100 gigs to 10 terabytes. We include agents for laptops, servers, desktops. All the current Microsoft OS are supported, all with Exchange and SQL, no additional charge. The upgrade process is pretty straightforward. For example, if you had one of our 300 gig appliances and they wanted more capacity 6 months from now, you can purchase a license key to instantly unlock extra space. So there's not being our hard drives, there's no downtime. Should your needs expand, it's a software key very quickly getting you to the extra capacity. We have here at 3X, we have recently released version 3.0. You're going to be seeing that today. 3.0, probably the number one feature is imaging. So if you're not familiar with imaging, it allows you to do a system image or a full image of a server or a laptop or a desktop, and in the event that that system's destroyed, you can very quickly bring it back, even to the similar hardware. We're going to talk about that today. In 3.0, we can also keep local copies, Exchange, SQL, and images, which comes in D for restoration. We can now store individual items out of Exchange, which is a new tool, and we do have the 10 terabyte capacity model, so we'll go all the way up to 10 terabytes now. In the day, we'll talk about laptops, remote offices, how we can tie into both of those. See our appliance, which is going to be done through a web-based management console. You see our locator service and the client software. Locator is something we host here at 3X. You think it was a dynamic DNS that we've enhanced. When you put clients online, it'll register its IP addresses and ports with the locator service. If the clients were to move or that IP or port changed, it's going to automatically forward that new information to all the connected systems behind the scenes. So this allows for device portability, and it also makes installing our software very easy, and a couple other benefits you'll see today. Up the appliance and software, show you the deduplication technology, and then we'll wrap it up with restoring some data. So I didn't just hop into the demo at this point. Share my stuff. And what here is a brand new 3X appliance. You can pretend that I received the appliance. I plugged it into the local network in a web browser for the initial setup, and we're using its local IP address. We give you several tools to identify the IP. So the first step is the licensing agreement. We're going to accept that. The second step is a friendly name. So it's going to name it, let's say, 3X Systems Demo. Give it a password. Info for the admin, and this is primarily meant just in case you forgot your password. On 9 here, we do have an actual email notification screen. Time, you'll have to adjust that your correct time zone. Encryption compression, we do encrypt over the internet using SSL for all transactions between the client and the appliance. We also encrypt at rest with 128-bit AES encryption. I'm going to go and turn the encryption on. By default, DHCP will get at the IP address. If you'd like to statically assign one, you can. There's a couple ports. So if the appliance is sitting behind a firewall off-site, you're going to have to poke these through. If you have any questions relating to this, we can help you out. We've done this many, many times, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the defaults. We do provide some TCP forwarding service for the emails. If you want to use your own, you can. And then on the screen here is the email alerts. So if you have to receive them, maybe a coworker, just insert a comma, tap out their email. This is failed backups, any hardware problems, and daily reports that are emailed out. So I press finish. The whole setup process takes about 2 or so to run through. And I'll go ahead and refresh this here. And now we're going to log into the appliance for the first time. Have access to our system settings, client management. We're using a 350 gig capacity for the demo today, and it's our rack mount chassis. We do have a portable cube chassis available as well. So with the appliance set up, I need to install software. So to do that, we go to the software tab. We've got 64-bit and 32-bit installers available. We'll click 32 and run this. The software is hosted on the appliance, so you can just give somebody the URL, and they can just download it over the internet. So I'm doing this. Agreement, standard first couple steps here. This is installing over to our client key. I'm going to copy it. Client key uses that locator service to tie the client to the appliance. Page on every system you want to back up, every server, every laptop, every desktop. For the client, we'll pick key. It goes up to locator service, does all the work for you. Just got a name, location, phone number. That way you know which system's which. Press there, you're not typing in an IP address or a port, anything fancy, just the key. So when the final step is to approve the user, so to do that, we go to Manage, the name of the client. You'll get an email. The admin will get an email. If you don't know who this person is, you can click Deactivate, and we'll kick them off from backing up any data. So I'm going to go ahead and click Activate. Now we're active. If I go over to the local client now, if I double-click the X down there in the bottom right-hand tray, the local client, that's what they're going to see on their end if they're on a server or a laptop. So with the client installed, the next step is to back up some data. So I've got a folder here. It's 63 megabytes, and there's a 45 meg move inside of it. So just send it to My Documents folder on a laptop, just a random collection of data with a movie inside. So I can back up that data locally, if you'd like, through the local client here, or I can define it over the internet, and I'm going to do it that way just to show you that that is possible. So through the web-based console, I'll click the name of it, go over to Backup Sets, go down to New, select the file system backup. If you want an image, which is bare metal recovery, we can. I was going to back up system state or Exchange or SQL. You select that option off the list, and it will do the rest for you. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the file system, give it a name. We use rule-based backup. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to that 3X folder, include that in a subfolder. Now, movie, to save some space, we can do an exclude file types, MPG. Any folder, any subfolder, if there's a movie in there, we won't back it up. Once you get the rule set to the way you like it, check this box, type a name for it, and you can use it again and again. So you're not recreating it over and over again. Again, so often the backup runs. I'm going to go ahead and just use a daily frequency. But if you want more frequently or less frequently, we do have those capabilities. But I'm just going to go ahead and use the daily. Retain similar to the old tape rotation strategy. We can retain the number of sessions up to 365. If you're doing a daily, that could keep a whole year's worth. You can also retain by time. Keep a session per day for example, 2 weeks, weekly for 2 months, monthly for a year, and a yearly for 5 years. So you're flexible here. You can go as far back as you want, potentially even forever. I'm going to go ahead and keep 10 sessions just to keep it easy. Here is options. If you want to receive an email, if the backup is missed, failed, canceled, or completed, you can. I'll do those, but there they are. So I'm going to press finish. We've now defined the backup set. Its name is demo. If I go over to the local client, they can now back up, they can now restore, but they're not going to be able to edit. So it's going to push that rule set down over the net. So I'm going to go back up now. Not automatically run at 8 p.m. as you can see, but I'm going to go ahead and manually run it now. We're going to have everything in that folder except for the movie. And this is a local network, which is the typical deployment. Back up on the screen now. So the backup's complete. I go over to history here, full snapshot at 10:37 my time. 10 files protected and 10 files transferred. So we backed up everything with the exception of the movie. So that's a backup. At this point, you'd move the appliance off-site and do your future backups over the internet. So to simulate that, I'm going to take a PowerPoint in that folder, open it up, change the font color from blue to red. We're going to save the file. We're going to leave it open to use VSS, a volume shadow copy service, to back up open files. I'm going to run this again, and it's back up the change. Back to use the change, and there we go. History, full snapshot. The amount transferred was only 81 kilobytes, so just a change. So when we have delta generation, we also have deduplication. So if I take this PowerPoint, if I get it and paste it in a different folder, and that folder, that's the same difference of this PowerPoint living on 10 laptops. You back up the PowerPoint once on the first laptop, and then the other 9, you would do a pointer to that. I'm going to go ahead and back up that folder, and that's the same difference. So I'm going to create a new backup set. And I'll explain why at the end of the demo why I'm doing a different backup set. I'll include the duplicate data, use a built-in schedule, built-in retention, and then run this. The file realizes duplicate and not back it up. Backup's running. Backup identifies the duplication. Over to history here. We did get a full snapshot of the whole folder, but the amount transferred was 0 bytes. So any duplicate data whether it be on the same system, different systems, will be eliminated, which is a great source space saver and with Saver as well. So for file-based backup, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the imaging. So the image component is new. What you would do if you want to do an image of this system or whatever system you want to back up, go to the Software tab. You would install where it says 3X BMR Bare Metal Recovery. I've already pre-installed that ahead of the demo today. So you click to the Bare Metal set, you go to Manage Clients, name of the client, go over to Backup Sets, go down to New. Slow Recovery is the backup set type, give it a name. And what I do here is going to build a list of all available partitions. So I'm going to go to my computer, like here, okay, there's these 3 partitions. I'm going to select the 3. So often the backup runs again. You could do it daily, every day. Now, you're probably not going to want to do that because it will take some time to run the fulls and compare them against each other. What I'd probably recommend you doing is a full and differential. So once a week it'll do a full, every night it'll do a diff, and the diff is just the change data, so that'll happen pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and use schedule. Retain the same that you just saw, I'll just retain forever. Then here, if you want to back it up locally to a USB drive or a NAS or a network drive or even a different partition, you can. And then in terms of transfer options, if you want to leave it locally, that's definitely possible. If you'd like to get it off-site, all you have to do is click that button that says Transfer to Vault and Keep Local Copy. So that'll keep both a local copy and have the copy off-site. So I'll actually run this because it takes a couple minutes to run, but that's how we define it. And so once we have that image generated, if this system were to die, all I have to do is go to the Software tab, click the rest CD, and download that and burn it onto a CD. You put that into the computer, even without the operating system installed. You tell it where the image is located, and it'll bring that computer back very, very quickly, which is a really neat feature, and it's going to help you on restoring times with our appliance. So, all right, we'll go ahead and hop into the restore then at this point. So, started out from the local client. So what's probably going to be more typical is that you don't need to restore the whole system. You just need to restore a folder or a file. Some deleted it. So through the dashboard here, as a user, I can very easily restore data. All I have to do is click Restore. Files from a single backup set or single file from any backup set. I'm going to do a single file. If I have the file tree here, these 2 folders, they're presented in different backup sets. They're shown here together for simplicity. If I select PowerPoint, it's going to be 2 points in time. 1030 was the slight font change. 1037 was when we did the initial backup. So I'm going to go ahead and select the most recent point in time. That file to its original location or any directory. I'm going to put it on my desktop so you can see it. When I finish, it'll write the file to the desktop. It's restoring now, and it'll appear underneath the recycling bin, and there it is up top. So really easy to self-restore data. Now the real nice thing with our product, though, is that we can also restore that data over the internet, too. So through the manager, if you had somebody traveling on a laptop, you're going to be able to remotely restore should they have any problems. So all you have to do is click Restore. Single file. Now to the PowerPoint. Pick the point you want. I can file again to its original location or any directory and put it on my desktop so you can see it. Click Browse here. I can go to my computer, C drive, doc settings, this user, his desktop, save. When I finish, the file will appear again on the desktop. So it's just a coincidence I'm on the same system here. And it's a file, and it's up top. So everything's the internet, which is a nice way to remotely restore it as well. I'm only showing the regular demo.